One of the most satisfying things about this episode and the entirety of this arc is the fact that our heroes lost. It's not done often. You don't normally see in a shonen. It happens, but you don't normally see the characters, our main cast of characters, just flat out lose. Like, you'll see a couple of characters maybe lose fights, but you don't normally see, like, the conclusion of an arc where everybody loses. Like, all of, the heroes lose. All the main characters. And you're just like, oh my god, that just happened. They all just got defeated like that. With Bakugo being snatched, it spelled the end of, them winning this. Like, this entire arc, even coming out with, positives. The only thing that was positive that came out for the heroes was the fact that they got a tracking device from Momo, and they got Tokoyami back, and they captured 3 villains. But besides that, they ruined UA's reputation. They completely smeared its reputation all in the mud. So let's get into that. So I've been wanting to talk about this for a while since the arc first began, but I was waiting for this episode to happen before I really dived into the main point of what this arc was about and what the villains were really trying to accomplish in the first place, since this arc is officially done. So yeah, this arc, the training camp arc and all that, final episode for it. We're getting into the next arc, which I want to tell you right now, anime onlys. I've been saying a lot for a long time now, months, and even since season 2. But you're not ready. You're not ready for what's about to happen. The events that are about to happen in the anime are gonna blow you away. Like, seriously, strap yourself in. It's gonna be crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna go any further than that, but you are not ready for the events to come after the repercussions of this arc. So anyways, getting into the main message, or the second half of this episode, and what the arc really stood for, the villains, their presence being there in the first place, being in the middle of this training arc, and invading, that already made UA and the Hero Society look extremely bad. Because let's back up and think about all the events prior to this arc. Back in the first villain invasion arc, back in season 1, where Nomu popped up, Shigaraki popped up, and we saw how All Might was going in against Nomu, fighting him and all that. Aizawa got messed up by Nomu, had his eye messed up and got a scar. I mean, it was a serious, event. Like, the incident that happened there, it really was bad. It was something that you don't normally see. And then after that, in season 2, you have it to where Stain, what happened with Stain, with Ida going off the rails, and then, Todoroki, and also, Izuku having to go in and fight with him, it also was a bad incident, because you have the League of Villains pop up, they get notorious, they get infamous, and, it just, the way it went down, it also made the Hero Society look bad, because of just the conflict and the problems that happened. Then now, with this, it makes it even worse. This is kind of like just punching them right when they're on the ground. Just kicking them while they're on the ground, punching them on the ground, and trying to make them gasp for air, because that's what they did. With their presence being there, it automatically ruined their image. Even if all of the villains would have pretty much got defeated, the point stands is them being there already makes it to where UA is not a trustworthy school at all. They're not being able to protect their students. Because if they can just come in like it's nothing, and there's like no safety net, then that's going to be a cause for concern. Which, in reality, it makes sense why people would get this type of concern. I mean, I would too. And which brings into the next big topic of debate: who's the traitor? So, I'm just going to say right now, personally, I don't know who the traitor is. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of fan theories, a lot of good theories about who could potentially be the traitor that is leaking information to the League of Villains. We don't know who it is, and I'm just going to say right now, it's kind of like a mini spoiler, but I still don't even know who it is. And that's the great part about this, because the longer it's withheld from the story and we don't know who the traitor is, the more we have time to get connected with these characters, and when we finally find out who the traitor really is, you're like, oh my god, this wonderful character is a traitor. Because when you look at all the characters, a part of, UA and all that, all the teachers, to the staff, to, our characters in Class 1A, they're all great characters. They all have these lively personalities that really stand out, and it's very obvious that one of them have to be a traitor for information to keep leaking out. The whole reason why this even happened in the first place, with the villains invading the training camp, was that someone leaked information. Now let's back up and, discuss that. It was stated that only the teachers and the Pussycats knew about the location of the training camp. It was all under wraps. Nobody else knew. And so if we're going by the process of elimination, that would mean that one of the teachers or one of the Pussycats are, a traitor. Now, if we look at, the details we have here, we have, All Might a part of the group, which, in all honesty, let's just be real here. We all know it's not All Might, okay? That would be, like, the biggest, like, what the hell moment for the series if it was All Might. So we can cross All Might out. Aizawa, everything from what we've seen from his character and his involvement in the series to what is happening with Nomu and all that from Season 1, you can't really say he's a traitor. The only way he could potentially be a traitor is if it's something so serious, something so heinous that's about to happen, he might be protecting the students' lives for whatever reason. That's the only way I can see Aizawa being a part of that. Midnight, she could potentially be, but at the same time, she's also a very good person. We see many good things from her. And then, we also have other teachers, like the principal, which, as we know in Season 2, is revealed that the principal, he was, experimented on. He was an animal, a very rare case of an animal or a rat having a quirk, which is not normal at all. And he was experimented on by humans, and that was elaborated on in Season 2, if you remember. So, there's a likely possibility maybe even the principal, he could be the traitor. Or, you have others, maybe one of the Pussycats, maybe Ragdoll, since she's up missing in this episode, she's gone, nobody knows where she's at, she's MIA. So, when you look at all these little things, you don't know who could be the traitor. You have your hands in the air like, uh-oh, like, who is it? And then we're not even factoring in the fact that one of the UA students could be potentially the traitor, getting information and leaking it to the League of Villains because, they popped up after they were there. So, when you look at it, one of the UA students, well, 1A could have said something, or Class 1B. If we look at the main class, like, 1A, well, we know that Izuku's not obviously someone that's going to do that. Todoroki, I highly doubt it, but if he could, or if he is, he's playing the long con. Or you have stuff with Mineta, he bought, equipment to be able to watch people at the beginning of the series, so he could be using his perverted nature as a cover-up just to be able to spy on people. Or you have stuff with, Toru, the invisible girl, maybe she's going invisible and she's paying attention and watching things, and then, she's, making sure she understands what's going on, for instance, leaking information to the League of Villains. Also, on top of that, if she's a liar or whatever, you can't really see if she's lying or the way she's expressing herself because she's always invisible. So, when you look at these little key pieces of information, we don't really know who's leaking anything at all. There's so many potential possibilities and fan theories and stuff on it that you're like, oh my god, when it finally is revealed, it's gonna just be extremely shocking. So, yeah, that's the big point what this arc was trying to say, is that someone is a snake. Someone is a snake in the grass waiting to stab them all in the back. And it's just only a matter of time until it is eventually revealed. Now, backing up for a second, let's also talk about, once again, the media coverage and stuff of UA. So, what this arc did, it called into question UA's ability to protect their students, okay? Regardless of traitor or whatever, it still calls in UA's ability to protect people. And if they can't even protect their own students, then obviously they're not fit for the job. The school is not doing its job right. And I would think the exact same thing. If I was watching the media and I saw something happen continuously, like it wasn't just a one-time event, it happened like 3 times, I'd say like, yeah, this is a problem. UA, what's going on here? Why is this happening? So, when you look at all of these things, you can also throw in the fact that maybe All Might's getting thrown under the bus, because this started happening soon as All Might became a part of UA. So as soon as All Might was a part of UA, it started getting attacked. So if they want to, stretch things and media wants to manipulate stuff, they could also say All Might is responsible. So with the way this is going, it showcases that UA is looking at a very rough time in its future. Now, I do want to say something, though, to you anime-onlys. Media coverage, this isn't the last time you see it in the series. It's very vital and important for the story progression and events that happen in the series, and it's one of the main things that makes me love My Hero Academia so much, is because Horikoshi knows how to use the media of his verse to be able to have a good narrative. And that's kind of what's happening here. It feels very realistic, the way the media is talking about UA and the reactions to everything. It's like how real life would be, and I like the way Horikoshi is very in tune with that fact when it comes to his series, because once again, heroes are public figures. People are going to be talking about them. If, anything happens, people are going to be talking about it. This has happened before in the past. And so seeing stuff like this, it makes me happy with Horikoshi's writing to implement media coverage in the series. Okay, so anyways, let's talk about Izuku for a second. Let's talk about what happened to him after this arc. So Izuku, he's messed up. Like, his body is extremely messed up. It was stated he was out for days. He was having convulsions, he was delirious, high fever. I mean, recovery girl had to help him. He couldn't remember anything for multiple days. His mother was apparently there. He was just in really bad shape. And you see how his arms are casted up and still after he apparently got healed. So something's wrong with his arm still. So, I mean, when you look at all these little things, just Izuku, he's in really bad shape. Really, really bad shape. And automatically you can see where, like, he's upset. He's mentally fatigued after what just happened. It's not his body right now. What's really getting to him is what he lost or how he failed. As I already said when I opened up this video, I said that our characters failed. Izuku is really feeling that weight right now of failure. See, Izuku, he could not save Bakugo. Bakugo legit just slipped through his fingers. He could not save Bakugo at all. And this holds a lot of weight, because Izuku is someone that likes to save people. He is someone that is a true hero. He also has a very close relationship with Bakugo. Even though Bakugo is, a jerk all the time, Izuku cares a lot about Bakugo. And this happening just hits even closer to home, to him personally. Then on top of that, with him not being able to save someone in front of him, thanks to his own body being messed up, he realizes the, situation and what Aizawa was trying to teach him back in Season 1. So let's talk about that. In Season 1, when Izuku was first doing, tests and stuff, they were figuring out where their quirks were, their strength, and all of that, Aizawa said that you're going to get to a point, because of the way your quirk works, you're going to shatter your limbs and body just to be able to save one person, and then finally, once that's done, you're not going to be able to do anything else. You're going to be just a ragdoll. You're going to be a doll just with the strings attached laying on the ground, not being able to do anything. You're legit going to be pretty much useless, actually even a hindrance to everyone around you, and that's kind of what Izuku was. He was a hindrance to a lot of people in that moment in this episode when he became a ragdoll. I mean, look at what happened to Shoji. Shoji had to go in and save Izuku from Toga. He couldn't even defend himself from Toga, and when you look at Toga as an individual, she is obviously strong. She's well fit, she's able to dodge and attack quickly, but in reality, she is nowhere near Izuku and obviously his strength and what we've seen with Muscular. So, he shouldn't have lost to Toga. But he still did, because he was broken. His body was shattered. He couldn't do anything. He was fatigued. He fell over because of his fatigue. And because of that, it made many others have to protect him or consider him over, helping out Bakugo, getting Tokoyami back. So, yeah, Izuku was a hindrance in this episode, and he realizes that now. What Aizawa was trying to tell him is that you're going to break your body. And when your body's broken, you're going to realize that you're not going to be able to save anyone, not even your own self, because of what you did to your body trying to save one person. That right there shows the problems with Izuku's fighting style and what he does to try to save someone. That's the problem. Now, next thing to get into, let's also talk about what Mr. Compress did. So, he played some mind games, tricks, and I didn't realize this until I rewatched the last episode, but in the last episode where Mr. Compress, he was messing with the marbles, which you found out in this episode was Bakugo and Tokoyami, and the marbles he was messing with, he was doing tricks and stuff, like keeping us focused on his hands, which in reality, that's what magicians do. See, the reason why some magicians look like they have a card pop out of nowhere, or they have certain tricks with certain things they have pop out of different places, is because they make you lose focus of other things going on. For instance, let's say he is doing something with his right hand, he's manipulating something with his right hand, he could be moving his left hand over here to the side, and you can't even see it. You have no idea what he's doing, because you're so focused on whatever he's doing with his right hand. And that's kind of what he did. He was playing mind games with the individuals, a part of Class A, that was watching him. He was just making them focus on those two marbles, and then he manipulated it and then hid them in his pocket. And he actually had them in his mouth the entire time. That right there shows the level of skill he has as a magician. He was not playing, but also the way the episode focused on it in the last episode with the manipulation, it also perfectly represented what a magician would do. So I appreciate that. Now, anyways, let's also talk about the event with Ragdoll. So we don't know what happened to Ragdoll, but we see her bloody headpiece in the episode, and she's up missing right now, alongside of Bakugo, and yeah, we know that there was a lot of blood everywhere. I discussed this already, but something's happened to Ragdoll. We don't really know what, but it's obviously something bad. Now, I'm just gonna ask anime onlys, what do you think? Do you think Ragdoll's dead? Do you think she's alive? Be honest in the comments below. I'm very curious to see what you say. Ida showcases his character development. You have it to where Kirishima and Todoroki are trying to talk Izuku into chasing after the villains and getting Bakugo back. And it fits in with their characters as heroes, wanting to be heroes. The Kirishima's motive is because he wants to be there for his best friend Bakugo. You know, Todoroki, he wants to be there because he failed to grasp Bakugo at the last second. He fell, just slipped through his fingers, and then he got taunted by Dabi in that moment. Then, Izuku, which is closely related to Bakugo, for instance, he's just been with him since childhood, obviously would have a big initiative to want to save his friend, and even break the law to probably even do it, not let the pros handle it. And Ida, he's the voice of reason. He's trying to stop them. Now, I know many are going to say, Ida needs to sit down and stop yelling and arguing with Kirishima and Todoroki. I know many are going to say something like that, but here's the thing. That would go against Ida's character development. That would completely retcon and go against what he has gotten as a character from Season 2. We even get to see flashbacks in this episode to represent the character development he got, in case you forgot. For instance, Ida, as we know, he went off the handles. He went to try to, get revenge for his brother, avenge his brother, and obviously, he got hurt from Stain. He got badly hurt. And then he learned his lesson that he needs to calm down and not do everything by himself. He needs to also let the pro heroes do their job, since he's not even a pro at this time. But he didn't listen. But now he understands that, and he lets them do their job. And with him arguing with Kirishima and, Todoroki and Izuku in this episode, it's kind of him being the voice of reason, learning from his past mistakes and trying to keep them on the straight path. And I like the way that was done. I know many are going to be quick to judge him for that, but I will tell you right now, it would definitely make me upset with Ida and Horikoshi as a writer if he was to make, him completely fall in line with what, Kirishima and them want. Now, speaking of characters, let's talk about my boy Aoyama. So, Aoyama, he gets a really subtle scene. It's a very important scene, but it's a very subtle scene. He manages to save Tokoyami. He uses his naval laser from the bush and saves Tokoyami. Now, here's the thing. The reason why he was able to do that was because he hid like a coward. And then that was how he was able to save Tokoyami. But even then, he did good work. I will commend him for that. It was good work. It was redemption. But if it wasn't for him being a coward, that wouldn't have happened. So, there's a lot of ways to think about the situation of what Aoyama did. It really brings his entire character into question, like, is he going to develop to be able to be a little bit more brave? That's the question that many might get after that event. But we didn't even really get to see him much in this episode, even though what he did. But that's pretty much about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you enjoy this week's episode of My Hero Academia? Did you hate this episode? If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. Chibi out.